What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Kansas City Chiefs Week 11 recap. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and continue to support the channel. I appreciate all of you guys. And I hope if you enjoyed, just try to stick through the video, just so then YouTube can push my views more, and just for the analytics. So if you like it, just feel free to just listen to me talk or whatever. Just leave it on in the background, and just you don't necessarily need to pay attention. But just if you like it, just continue to support the channel. Let's get into it. No longer undefeated season like I thought it would be. We lose to the Bills. Patrick threw two interceptions, 3 touchdowns overall. I thought he played well, but I think that he made a few mistakes. Like in the beginning of the game when he threw that pick to Taylor Rapp. Like I talked about Taylor Rapp in last week's recap when we were talking about why I thought the Bills had a good team and a good defense. Yeah, Taylor Rapp is one of their key players on defense this season. One of their safeties. He was there last season, but he kind of stepped up because I think he was there last season, or he might have came from another team, but he kind of stepped up in the role with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde leaving. So yeah, I thought that wasn't a great decision. When he threw that pick, he was under duress, but still, I think you should throw the ball away. You can't always try to make a play, and like he knows that. I'm sure in the playoffs, when playoffs come, like he'll throw the ball away. He'll take care of it more. But it's a regular season. But like still, you shouldn't be throwing that. You got to take care of the ball there. Like there's no need to try to force that throw. And I thought that the other mistake was near the end of the game, but like we were trying to like put up a fight near the end of the game. So it's like you're kind of forcing throws at that point. At that point, you can force throws because you're already down so much and you need points in a hurry. And it's not necessarily the scoreboard that you're facing, because you're going to go for the onside kick. You're actually facing the clock, so you're trying to get the points in a hurry and try to score as fast as you can because you're facing the clock. So there you might need to throw through a tight window. And they already dropped 6 DBs there because it's dime coverage, because they know you have to pass. I felt like Andy wasn't trying to reveal the whole entire offensive game plan or the whole playbook and whatnot. I felt like he was trying to that's just me personally, and I know some Chiefs fans saying that like if it was playoffs, when playoffs come, we'll see. I feel like Andy was just trying not to reveal everything, but still, there's no excuses. Still, we could have looked better than we had. Like the defense needs to get better on third down than third and longs. Like our third and longs, I talked about it before. I talked about it since the Raiders game. Like I noticed that on third downs that they were converting them. Even the Raiders were converting them, and the Raiders aren't that good. And then the Bucks did it all game long, which forced the OT. And now the Bills are obviously the best version out of those two teams. They're the best team out of those, where they're able to convert those, and then they also have a quarterback that can move. So it's like when you face teams like that, like you got to get them off the field on third down. Our third downs is what killed us. Like before I even get into the stats, I just remember that third downs were what killed us. Even the fourth down with Josh Allen on his legs, like you got to know that that's going to happen. You got to add a spy or something. You got to think what they were thinking. You got to think ahead, you know. But this loss is something to improve on. It's something to learn. You don't learn from your wins, but you learn from your losses. So it's like this loss is actually a good thing for us, even though I did want the undefeated season. But like that doesn't matter. Like the goal at the end of the day is the ring. It's like that's what the most important thing is. Not everybody I don't think anybody aims to have the undefeated season. Like if you get it, you would get it. I guess the Patriots just happened to almost have it at that point, and they still didn't get it. But like they just happened to go the whole regular season undefeated. But like still, like you don't want that. You want the ring at the end of the day. But it would have been nice just for the legacy. That's why I wanted it, because I know Pat's chasing the GOAT. That's why I thought it would be cool. So on Monday we just hit the reset, and then you look forward to the next game against the Panthers on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Let's get into the stats. So Pat he threw 23 passes and completed. He threw 33 passes and completed 23 of them. He had 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 NTs. So I think he played decent. That wasn't Pat's best game, obviously, but I don't think it was his worst game either. Like the three touchdowns is nice. Just 200 yards is you would expect. Pat averages like what, 250 a game. So like it's a little bit under average. So it's like that's decent. But the 23 for 33 was good. And then one of the two INTs, but one of them was in garbage time. So it's like, yeah, it was a decent game by Pat. Kareem Hunt played well, 14 carries for 60 yards. Xavier Worthy played well. You got to keep your feet in bounds there, where he could add like 40 more yards easily. He had 4 receptions for 61 yards and a touchdown. He could add 5 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. Who knows even more if that drive extends, when he had that 40-yard pass where he didn't drag his toe, he didn't drag the other toe. He's a rookie, right? So he's got to learn, but like you got to drag your feet there and just stay in bounds, because that's easy one there, because Pat left room for you, and Pat knew that you were leaving room, that you're trying to leave room for yourself on the sideline, so you try to throw it so that you'd have time to tap your toes, but I guess he just forgot because he's a little bit inexperienced still. Going to the team stats, we had 259 total yards, they had 366, 181 passing yards, they had 262, 104 rushing yards, they had 78. So they outplayed us in every way. They had more passing, more rushing, more complete total yards. Yards per play, they had more too, they had 5.2. They had 24 first downs, we had 19. The third down efficiency was better, of course. I didn't even need to check it. They were 9 for 15, we were 5 for 10. Their fourth down efficiency was better. They were 1 for 2, we were 0 for 1. They had more total plays because they had more time in possession. I'll get down to that. We gave up 2 sacks. They didn't give up any sacks, so their protection was actually very well. Their O-line's been blocking well recently. Because it seemed like their O-line was a struggle for like the past few years. Not necessarily a struggle, but at times they rely on Josh to just escape and make plays. But their O-line's holding up a lot better now, and now Josh like feels. He'll know that he'll have time, and then he knows that even if you should be trying to get rid of the ball early, but he'll know that he'll have time because he can trust on them. He can trust our O-line. He can rely on them, so he can find Amari Cooper like what he did, or just find Hollins or Shakir. Kincaid wasn't there. Find Knox, when he has time. Josh threw 1 interception. Pat threw 2. The time of possession was 34-25. So yeah, they controlled the game and dominated the game in every aspect. Let's go into our team player stats. Kareem Hunt had 14 carries for 60 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. McCole Hardman had 1 carry for 9 yards. Yeah, he's not getting involved as much as I think he could right now. I think that we could utilize him a bit more, but we're kind of using him as like a gadget guy, a return guy, kind of a jet sweep guy, like that kind of player. Just use it but I think that he's good in the pass, in the receiving game. I think he can catch, he can run routes. I've seen it before when Tyreek was there. D-Hop had 3 receptions for 29 yards. Justin Watson had 2 receptions for 26 yards. Noah Gray had 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns for 23. Yeah, Gray played a great game. He played very well. He's our second string tight end. We drafted a tight end too, Wiley, but he's not playing as much. But he's our second string tight end after Kelsey. He had a great game. He had a good catch in the red zone. Yeah, Pat spread the ball around, so like he was very efficient and he spread the ball around. I think he played well, but then. And he always spreads the ball around, but I think then what hurt us really was just not getting them off the field, or just Josh's legs on like 3rd and 4th downs, not getting them off the field, because I guess we weren't equipped, we weren't prepared for that, because that's really what hurt us in the playoff game. And a few years back, the thriller where we won in OT with the coin toss. But what really hurt us then was that Josh's legs. Like he even took out one of our safeties, Tyrann Mathieu. Like I don't know if you guys remember him, but Tyrann Mathieu is now the safety for the New Orleans Saints. He took him out with a concussion just because he tried to tackle Josh Allen head on and he just couldn't tackle him. So it's like you got to prepare for Josh Allen's legs. Like you got to prepare for everything. Like when you're facing the Bills. Because they noticed that they were going to take away James Cook, or at least they tried to. I can look up his stats right here. 9 carries for 20 yards. They know that we take away the number 1 running backs like all the time, and they know that our secondary can cover. Like ever since like last year, like they know our secondary can cover, and we can take away their number 1 or whatever, or at least decrease his value in the matchups. But like so then they just knew that we wouldn't really expect Josh's legs on like the key downs. So like Josh would just run, or he would at least look like he's aiming to pass, and just like know that they're watching his eyes, and then not really stare you down, kind of look off and then run. So it's like Josh played a great game, and he outplayed Pat, and then their defense also outplayed our defense, if that makes sense. So it's like that's really what won them the game. Next topic. Why I think this loss doesn't matter. So why I think this loss doesn't matter is because they're 4-1 against us in the regular season, and then we're 3-0 against them in the playoffs. And our last, I think, regular season win against them came in the 2020 pandemic year. I feel like where there's like no fans, and like not to say we can't beat them in the regular season at all, but it was a long time ago. We had Tyreek Hill, we had Travis Kelce, and that's when we beat them. Ever since then, we haven't beaten them in the regular season. We lost when Tony was offside. We could have won that game in the regular season. We lost when it was a blowout in 21. We lost just now. Like we lose to them in the regular season quite often. We lost when Pat threw a pick with I think it was Taron Johnson when he was a rookie, like a few years back, when Pat won his second ring. So it's like they typically beat us in the regular season, but they don't beat us in the playoffs. And the playoffs is what counts more. The playoffs is where it's like you play the regular season to get to the playoffs. Like that's why you play all those games, and like like you don't necessarily need to be undefeated, but you know that you need to maybe get a home field advantage or just be in a position where you know that like now like you played enough games, you've seen who you are, you know your identity, and like we already have a culture, we both have a culture, you know our identity, but I'm just trying to explain it like so when you get to the playoffs, like you're ready, like everything is built up to this, like this is the moment you use the full game plan, you use everybody, you utilize everyone, you know, utilize the whole playbook. So like you're completely ready. You put everything, all the chips in the middle of the table, and like as a poker reference. So like you're ready to go. It's like this is where it counts. So it's like they haven't beaten us then, and they're like past 3-0 against them like in that moment and like in those times. So, like we'll see this year. So like just give it time. Wait until January, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see who wins then. But I have a feeling Pat will win, and I think that that's why I think that this loss doesn't matter. And I think that as I said, I think we'll learn from it, and we learn from our losses, not from our wins. So that we'll continue to improve, and we'll continue to get better. And it's a reset, and then we'll be ready for next week, and so on and so forth. Let's look into the next week matchup against the Panthers. So I think that we'll beat the Panthers. I think that they're honestly looking better. They're starting to run the ball more, not having Bryce Young pass it as much. You know, kind of like with Justin Herbert, where Jim Harbaugh came in and he kind of like is allowing more of a run game and just changed identity. Like, you know, so you don't need to rely on them so much. You rely on your number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, as much. Like that's what Justin Herbert was a number 1 overall pick, but they just don't rely on him as much. So like I think in the beginning they rely on Bryce a lot and expecting him to pass because it's like now it's his second season and you're expecting a big leap from him, but you're still relying on him to pass so much. And it doesn't matter who you are, if you don't have a culture, if you don't have a run game, the pass game will be way too difficult. The windows will be tight. There'll be more DBs on the field. They'll be reading your eyes. The whole everything will be tougher. It will flow better if you have a run game. Now they're using Chuba Hubbard, who's a great back. And it's making everything easier. So with that said, I think that we'll probably win by a score, or maybe like I'd say like 7 to 10 points. It'll probably be comfortable where you never thought that we were gonna lose, and we're kind of comfortable. Maybe play with our foot a bit against them. It's like, but you never thought that we were gonna lose, and overall we just kind of kind of how the Bills play, where like we kind of dominated them and just beat them from the line of scrimmage and just moved them around. That's what I would have expected in that game. So peace out, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Continue to support. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And I love you guys.